What's up, you guys? All you new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I'm Barbas, and this is Barbas. So today we're going to be swapping out the suspension. My car's not sitting level at all. Basically, I heated up the springs in the front. I've never done it. I wanted to try it out, see how that would work. And basically what I did is I heated up the springs. It did come down, but the springs started to like open up. So now I got a really loud pop noise on here whenever I hit a bump. This side sits lower than that side. This side I think might be like completely like OEM. But this side over here, the spring is really fucked on this side. It's got like a whole bunch of bushings that somebody put in there, and it's got the car sitting like this. It's not sitting straight. It's actually, since that corner over there is really low, and this corner is really high, it's sitting like this. So I'm going down the road like this. So basically what I'm going to be doing today is swapping out the suspension for some coilover sleeves. Basically these are the Imusa coilover sleeves. I've bought plenty of stuff from Imusa before. I know that they're going to get the job done, and they are most likely going to be super bouncy. I've never tried them before, never tried this brand before of coilovers. I've done a good 20 different coilovers that I've swapped before, so I got pretty good experience at doing them. So basically, these coilovers are gonna, there's these sleeves that are longer and these sleeves that are shorter. So I've never had these sleeves before. I know that every single time I would order coilovers, or my buddies would order coilovers, they would always come with the short sleeves. So I'm guessing the longer sleeves might be for the back. So these are adjustable, up, down, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on, and just to level the car out. And in a few weeks from now, I'll go ahead and swap them out for some name brand stuff. And I'll let you know also how these are riding, since I've never tried their stuff. I know a lot of the Imusa stuff is pretty good. I've ordered turbo kits from them. I've ordered all kinds of stuff from Imusa, and I really do like their brand. So basically the first thing that I'm going to be doing, this is what I always do first, is I take my Allen wrench and I loosen this bolt that's up here, because otherwise later on it's a problem to do. I take like a little pipe, any kind of little pipe, and I put it on the Allen wrench. I put my 14mm up here, and I start to loosen it. I already pre-loosened most of it. So basically once I get this side loose, what I'll do is I'll slide this, let me see it on this side. I'll slide this nut right here all the way to the edge up here, so later on it's pretty easy just to take off. So this is what it looks once I've loosened it up a little bit. It's right at the level right now. The other side, it's right at the level. And now I'm going to do the rear, the same. Alright, you guys, so I went ahead and I loosened the rear already. These are all loose. What I like to do next is take these off right here. These two bolts, two bolts, two bolts, and two bolts. All four corners will be done then. It's going to take me about 2 hours to complete this job, but I've done it many times, so it might even take me an hour and a half. Alright, so I got the bolts off on each side. I threw them up here. I got the bolts off on each side. I threw them up here. In the back, I got the bolts off, threw them right there. Same thing over there, I threw them right here. Basically, on this side, you guys can see that I got this one to be nice and level. Right here, this whole thing. But on this side, the center one, stripped. So the Allen wrench that goes up there is stripped out. So basically, I'm going to show you guys how to take that off, how to break that nut off without damaging anything else. So basically, the whole back on the top is off, and the whole front is ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jack up the whole car all the way around. I got enough jack stands to jack up the whole car and throw them under there. And basically that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, so I got this side jacked up right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light on here. So basically, you guys can see how screwed up my suspension is. It's got these things. I don't know who the hell shoved those in there or what, but basically, I've always done it like this. I take off this one, and then it gives me some slack for it to fall down. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I got these two bolts, put them right there. Now I got some slack. Now all I gotta do is release this bolt that's over here on this side. Alright you guys, so the bolt broke off right here. So what I did was I took off this bolt and this bolt off of here, and I dropped everything down. And now you can see that I got the suspension almost out. I'm not going to go ahead and pull it out. I'm going to have to get a new strut, of course, so I could thread in a new one, a new bolt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the head off, pull the spring off, drop the new coil sleeve in for now until I get my fully adjustable coilovers. So basically this is how I do it. I went ahead and I removed all of these that were on there. I don't know why the hell that was all on there, but basically it seems like this spring is kind of like loose. I'm not sure, but now I take my 14 millimeter, I take my impact gun, and I just release it. I'm gonna go back here on this side. I haven't done a suspension on these in a while, and I'm kind of afraid of the kick that it's going to have, but usually when I do them, I have no problems doing them, but since I haven't done it in a while, I'm kind of nervous about it. So there it is. The head is off, almost off. And the spring is almost off. But you see, these little civics don't really have much of a kick to the springs themselves. Like it does, but it really doesn't. So that's why I'm not scared, and I don't use the spring compressors. I've done it so many times that I know for sure that I usually never get hurt doing them. Alright, so everything's completely out. I usually take my bushing, which is this one right here. I take it off, and I cut the first one from the top off. And then I just leave this little piece. And then we're going to take our suspension, this one right here, and we're going to go ahead and drop it in. I forgot to mention to put your little rubbers on here. They're these. You just put 2 of them, 2, 3, whatever, and that will tighten this up. Alright. And then I go ahead, I put my spring in. I put the cap on. I take this one. Actually, not that one. There's another one. Let me see what I did with it. I got it. It's right here. You take this one, and you go ahead and you drop it in. I drop it in backwards like that. Is it backwards? Yeah, there it is. Alright. So drop it in there. Then I take my hat. I got my bushing inside here. I got my bushing on this side. And I go ahead and I just put it on. I put this one back on. And I put this one. And that's pretty much it. I go ahead and I tighten it up. And this side is pretty much done, reassembly. Alright, so everything just got reassembled in less than 10 minutes. Basically, everything's in except for the bolts, which I will put on the top as soon as I lower the car. That's reassembled, the side is reassembled, and basically this bolt that snapped off is kind of locked in there now for good. So I'm thinking I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to go ahead and replace the control arms with some aftermarket ones, and that should take care of that little problem. Stop the video! Stop! 4 days later. So it's been a few days since I did the rear suspension, and the day that I was doing the suspension, the video for you guys, I did this side, I did the other side, and I completely stopped. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing the front suspension, for the reason being that the rear shocks are blown. So I put these sleeves on there, the rear shocks are blown. So let me show you guys. I'm going to set the camera down right here. Check this out. Do you guys see how bouncy this is? Super bouncy. So basically I have no choice but to order some new suspension. So in my other video you guys saw that the bolt broke to the actual control arm. The head completely broke. So I went ahead and I ordered, I'm going to show you guys right now what I ordered. So I got some eBay shocks, 2 eBay shocks. These were 30 bucks. I ordered these hats. They got like a giant bushing in here. Let me push it out. So you guys can see the bushing. So it's got this giant bushing that goes inside the hat, the top hat. So that's going to go. Top hats were 30 bucks also. So that's 60 bucks right there. And then I went ahead and I ordered some control arms from eBay. These were also 30 bucks. So I'm at 90 bucks now. 90 bucks, and then the springs for the front and the back were another 30 bucks. So you would split that, half for the front, half for the back. That's 15 bucks. So you add 30, 60, 90 plus a 15. and I got about $115 suspension or so, something like that. $105 actually. So this is the suspension that's going to be going on, and hopefully the suspension will hold me through. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the car, take everything back off, put in the new stuff, and take it for a test drive. And I'm not going to do anything to the front suspension quite yet. I'm going to wait, since I only have this stuff for the rear, and since the fact that the struts were blown, that means the ones in the front might be blown also. So I don't even want to touch any of that stuff. I want to be ready, have some money in hand, order the parts, have everything ready before it goes back in there. I also moved a lot of the lighting around. So now we have this light, we have that center light that's really bright up there, and I replaced all these bulbs with some really bright ones, and I got another light bulb over there. So hopefully this is going to be enough light to get me around today. I forgot to tell you guys also that it's in my pocket somewhere, that I ordered the bolt. This is the bolt for the control arm that broke. It's right here, OEM from Honda. And this is the bolt that broke on the control arm that was pretty much stuck in there. Alright, so I'm going to be jacking up the car again. We're going to do this all over again. It's a good thing I could do this pretty fast. Otherwise this would really be a pain. So basically you guys can see my suspension right here, where I had put the bushing. You guys can see the control arm, the bolt that broke. That's the old control arm. All this wetness that you guys see on the floor is because it's raining out there. Well, it was a little bit ago. So there's rain all over. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this apart really quick. And as soon as it's apart, I'll start recording again, so I can show you. So I got the control arm off. So basically you guys can see that it's leaking. All the shit's coming out of it now. I was going to show you guys how to remove your spring. If that Allen key on top, the hole where the Allen key goes, if it was stripped. So basically what I do is, alright you guys, so these are the pliers I usually use to do this. I was using the wrong ones. I didn't take these off, but these are the ones. I usually go backwards like this, like that, then I'll put my knee on it. I'll do the 14. It looks like it's almost off completely. It's completely off now. Wow. A lot of nastiness right there. Alright you guys, so I went ahead and I assembled the suspension. This is the old, that's the new, this is the old over here. And my camera is about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and probably just get done with this and call it a night. and then do the other side later. Alright you guys, so today's the day after, and I started doing the suspension on the passenger side in the rear, and guess what? This nut and that nut broke off. I was able to free that one, but these two broke off. Basically, this one right here doesn't really matter because the control arm and the strut are getting replaced, so that can stay as one piece. But this one right here does matter. So basically, what I'm thinking about is I'm going to have to cut that nut off on this side and get a matching bolt, put it through, and put a nut at the end. It's either that or replacing this whole piece right here. I don't want to do that. That's going to be like $200 bucks. So check it out. I took this little grinder and I cut it off. From here, I cut off the nut. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning this up. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a new nut right there. I'm not going to weld it in. I'm just going to put the bolt through, and then the nut, and then the Loctite. Alright, so I went ahead and I sprayed this whole section that I grinded to prevent any new rust from forming. Same thing on the other side. I sprayed everything down with some paint. My suspension's ready to go. So basically this is my new strut right here. I put the sleeve in, the spring, this black bushing. This black bushing came with the strut, so I just went ahead and I left it. And then for the top hat, I flipped the hat upside down, and see this black thing? There's one that's inside the black hat, like around here, but it's on the inside from the bottom up, and it's backwards. So basically, you're looking at this black one, but it's backwards, facing the other way. And then I shoved the bushing in there. I put the hat on. I put this black one, I put the bolts, and I went ahead and I set it to 50 on top of the 50 line, and I'm going to go ahead and put the control arm, and then I'm going to show you how to preload it. Alright, so the suspension's on, and now I'm going to do the preload so I can finally tighten all these bolts down. So what I'm going to do is put all my lug nuts back in here. This is how I do it. There's different ways to do it. Then I go ahead, I put my jack stand right underneath right here. So you guys can see, so that's where it's going to sit on, and I'm going to release my jack slowly. Now all the weight is off the jack. I'm going to go ahead and crank it up a little bit more, just in case. And it's sitting on the jack stand right there. So now those bolts are pretty much ready to be tying. If you don't do this, and you put control arms, what's going to happen, if you tighten it up when it's up in the air and then you set your car down, those ball joints are going to start, or bushings actually, not ball joints. Bushings, those bushings are going to start to flex. So this is why you got to do the preload. So it mimics like if the car was already on the tires. And basically now, I'm going to go ahead and tighten those bolts down, and I'm done. I'll put my tire on, and that's pretty much it. So the suspension is completely on. Let's do the test we did at the beginning. You guys see how stiff this is? No more bouncing around. No more bouncing around. So that's going to be the end of the rear suspension. And I hope you guys enjoyed this long video that I did for you guys and learned something new in case something breaks on you guys. So till then, catch you guys later. Peace.